Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Davis Dynamics. It's a great afternoon so far. Of course, I think there's storms in the forecast. I had my another lesson with my another new client. She did great. The first thing she said is, "You got a task on your hands," but then by the time we were done, she couldn't believe it. She was so happy. Her husband was so happy. Her husband was like, "Oh, I hope she doesn't start beating me on the golf course." So it is a blessing. I am very humble to have all the education, knowledge, and also the resources to reach out to be able to give the information to people who can't afford to go to these classes or can't afford to get different equipment because it's so expensive. So I can test it out and try to give you my review. Hope that I'm fair. Even though I play for TaylorMade, of course, they do allow me to test out different things. But of course, I'm just so used to TaylorMade now that the way their equipment works, I'm prone to knowing and being consistent with their equipment. So anyway, we are here on the chipping green. There was a lot of people out here, but now they're not here anymore. So we're just going to do a quick video on short game chipping. So I'm going to just walk this out, and I'm going to just go ahead and paint the scenario for you. So I'm standing by the flag here. I'm just going to take my regular steps like I would on a tee box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm on the fringe, but my ball is about another 2 feet. So 6, 7, 8. So I'm about 8 feet from that hole. My thing with chipping is all about feel. Now, we know there's really not a technique to chipping. I mean, everybody chips different ways. Some people chip up and down, like they hit down on the ball. Some people will chip sideways. It just really depends on how your equipment is made and how the loft and lie is set up. Now, TaylorMade, I've noticed that, and I've been, like I said, I've been privy to have the tour truck and Chris Trott and all the R&D team to tell me exactly how the wedges are supposed to be played. Well, TaylorMade wedges are not made to be hit down on like that. They're actually made to come in shallow to use the camber or the bounce of the club, which is going to be the, and I'm going to make sure I try to get into frame, the actual camber of the club. So we're going to hit this. How many times have we seen that we can't putt because we have grass here, because the ball's not going to follow a straight line, and we're like, oh, we could have made that putt, but we got too much grass. We got 2 feet of grass in front of us before it hits the green. So now we're like, okay, do we bump and run it? Do we chip it? What do we do? Well, there's many different options. We can use a hybrid to bump it, choke down your hybrid. You can use the putter if you like. I mean, if you're comfortable, just to get it close. And maybe, who knows, it might go in. But for me, I like using my 64. I don't recommend 64s for everybody. 64 is really, really hard to hit. Sorry, the geese are behind me. They're actually watching me. So I guess that's my gallery putting pressure on me. So anyway, I have 6 golf balls here, and we're going to just hit a couple of them. And like I said, it's about feel. You're 8 feet away. You have to carry 2 feet of grass, and it's about feel. Now, if you hit it and it goes past the hole, that's not always bad, as long as it doesn't go like an enormous distance past the flag. I always try, when I chip, I always try to at least, if it goes 3 feet past, then it's fine. I'm still in my 5-foot range of putting. I always try to chip and have between 5 and 7 feet around the hole. I'm comfortable putting. Anything more than I'm actually studying too much or trying to be precise. But 7 to 5 feet, then I'm very, very comfortable. So we're going to hit a couple of chips here, and let's see how we do. Make sure all the balls are in line there, because sometimes the camera, the wind is blowing. I'm sure you can see that flag because we got storms coming in. So like I said, it's about feel. I'm using my 64-degree wedge, and this is what I would use from this distance. So all you see is that I'm trying to get the club face as square as I can, aiming right at that flag. Now after that, I'm going to turn my body just a little bit to the left. Reason being is I want to be able to swing down the line toward that flag. I don't want my club turning. I don't want it rotating. So let's see what we can do here. One time in the hole. One time. We love to hear that. So it's actually the same as putting. We're doing the same thing. We're just like when you putt, what do? You line up your putter toward the hole, and you're doing the same thing, except for with the wedge, with the putter, you don't, some people do cant their body to the side, because it just depends on how they swing the putter, but with the wedge, you want to be swinging down the line. So let's see if we can do another one. We dropped the first one. That was good. But like I said, we just want to get into that comfortable space. Boom. That is a half a foot right there by the hole. And I'm just going to check the camera just to make sure that you can see it, because I know, like I said, that wind is blowing. All right, we got 4 more. So the question that I do get is, do I lean the shaft or do I leave it neutral? Well, we're going to show you both, okay? And it just really depends on what type of shot you're going to play. Leaning the shaft de-lofts the club. So that means I'm turning the 64 into a 60, or maybe a 62. So I'm actually taking bounce off. I'm actually manipulating the club and not using the club for what it's used for. But we will show you, because the thing is this: learning golf is about being creative and doing different things. So with a 64, I'm usually right here, midsection. I'm letting the club sit the way it wants to sit, and all I'm doing is I'm swinging through using the camber of the club. Ooh, almost went in, jumped over the hole, and you can hear the click. Now that's actually about 3 feet, like I was telling you, 3 feet past the hole. That's not bad. I'm not upset with that. I like it. It's actually in a downhill putt too, so it's just downhill, so that means I don't have to hit it as hard. It's going to keep its line, and most likely it's going to go in. Now, when we de-loft the club, you're not going to have as much spin on it, so that means you need to drop it even shorter. I'm going to drop it probably just over where the grass stops, the fringe stops, because it's going to take off and it's going to run toward that hole. So as you can see, my hands are being pressed forward, my weight is forward, and I'm going to hit down on this ball slightly. As you can see, it took off and ran. There was no spinning on that. So it just really depends on how. Now, I'm, like I said, once again, we're playing TaylorMade wedges. TaylorMade wedges are not made to be hit down on like that. They are made to come in shallow using the camber. Now, hopefully I'm out far enough so you can see. But using the camber, so basically you're here, you're turning your body sideways, and the club is actually coming in at an angle this way, like more rotational around your body, instead of more of your Tyler's Vokies or your Clevelands or your Tommy Armours or, Titleist's. You come in like this. No, we want to come in sideways, and that actually gives us more spin. So let's go ahead and do that. So Once again, you get squared away. You can hear the camber. That camber is cutting through that grass there. You get set up as much as you can, get square as you can, because now this is going to be a more rotational now. A little bit of different feel. That was tough. I actually looked up on that one. But that's golf. That is, every shot is not this perfect. But I tell you what, that would be one of those shots there that I wouldn't be upset, but I wouldn't be too enthusiastic either. That would be like, okay, putt it, get it down the hill, get it close to the hole, try to save par, go to the next hole, forget about that shot. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna do this last one here. Hopefully we can get this one going the way we were supposed to do it. Let's get this camber. Let's make sure we stay down. If I get my weight to the left here. And let's get it going. There we go. That's it. That is 1.5 feet from that hole right there. So once again, it is one of those things. Chipping is a game within itself, the short game. Like I said, this would be one of these shots here. I don't have my putter. I like to mess around sometimes with my wedges. But this would be one of these shots here that if I would never do this in a tournament, but if I'm just playing around by myself just to see what I can do. Burnt the hole. Just burnt the hole. And as you can see, that wasn't bad because it was coming straight downhill, so you didn't have to hit it hard, because gravity was going to keep it on line for you. We have to remember, golf is a hard game, and we need to do everything we can to make it easy. We want to keep this game consistent. The more we change our swing, the more we change our grip, the more we change our mindset, the harder the game gets. And that's one thing we don't want to do. Now, this was a 64-degree wedge. I know some people don't like to chip with 64s. Sometimes they say, okay, I have a pitching wedge or I have a gap wedge. But majority of the time, I'm seeing pitching wedges because a lot of the beginner clubs only come with pitching wedges. So I'm going to pull out my pitching wedge since we are here. Okay. And just so you can see my pitching wedge. Okay. So I'm going to go to that same hole. Going to do the same thing, except for the club is going to be different because this is an iron. The iron is set up differently. But all I'm going to do is, instead of having the iron, because our hands our hands are generally in front of the club head, I'm actually going to have it neutral. I'm going to have the club head and my hands the same distance. And I'm going to have it neutral. I'm going to check the camera because, like I said, now it's starting to get really, really cloudy and the wind is starting to pick up here. So I just want to check okay. All right, so here we go. Pitching wedge. As you can see, I'm choking down on it. As you can see here, the grip. You can see the grip here. I'm going to be holding down just about where you see TaylorMade at. I'm going to be holding down just about right here because I want to make this golf club shorter. I don't want to make it longer. The longer the golf club is, the harder it is to control a short shot. So we want to choke down. Even if you come down to the middle, there's nothing wrong with that. But I still like to have my hands actually on the grip because I don't want my hands slipping or anything like that. And now it's about feel. Definitely about feel because now you got more weight in your hands. But you don't have to rotate as much. I'm going straight back, straight through. The club is just turning in. So we want to do the same thing. We don't have to turn as much. I want to keep that shaft instead of leaning it. I want to keep that shaft more straight upward, almost like in line with my center of gravity of my body, my sternum. All I'm doing is I'm just trying to get that face as square as I can, or the target toward the flag. And all I'm going to do is a short bump. One time. There we go. Look at that. We are dropping them today. Short game. 85% short game. This is what's going to bring your scores down and your handicap. Square it up. Put your hands down for more control. Just lower your hands down on the shaft for more control. A little slight bump back and through. Not bad, not bad. That's a 3-footer. Once again, that's not bad. I'm not upset with that. Not one iota, because I like those putts. I'm still within a comfortable rim for putting. Once again, straight back, straight through. Boom. I'm about 1.5 feet. No, about, well, I don't know, half a foot. It's a half a foot, so that'll be an easy one. Easy up and down. So once again, it's about feel. And as you can see, I'm not leaning the shaft. If I was leaning the shaft this way, then that ball would take off. No matter how easy I hit, we're putting more spin on it, so we can't control it from a small distance, from a short distance. But if I keep it neutral, my hands are in line with this club head, and I'm choking down on it. I'm squaring it up, back, and through. One time. Oh my God, that almost went in also. Oh my God. So this is the short game. The short game is something that we need to work on as much as possible. And I like to get the club as close as I can. Most of the time when you're swinging irons, you do have a little space. But then when you're chipping, you want to be as close as you can to that club. You want to make sure it feels like it's part of your body, you know? I mean, it technically is. Your hands, your arms are actually an extension of this shaft. So here we go again. That's about 2 foot. That looks like about a 2-footer for putt. All right, let's see if we can hold this one out right here. All right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna do our pre-shot routine. All right, and this is gonna be our last one. Oh, this is gonna be our last one. Yeah, let's see if we can make this one. We're gonna get squared up first. Try to square this club up as much as we can. Then we're going to turn our body a little bit to the left. And nice smooth swing. Straight back, straight through. That was too much. So that's that funky 3-footer again. Well, I don't know. Maybe a 4-footer, actually. But it's still coming downhill. Gonna get these out of the way. Yay, I made one. Yeah, that's always a great feeling. So that's that funky shot again, where we're coming straight downhill, and that looks like it's gonna be a 3.5, 4-footer. Once again, like I said, I would never do this in competition, but I always like to just see exactly the equator of the ball. If I can hit the equator with my wedge and keep it straight. But the same thing, I'm just going to turn sideways, and I'm just going to give it a bump. And there it is, in the hole. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Davis Dynamics. Like I said, thank you all for your love and support. I mean, you guys have made Davis Dynamics what it is today. You know, I mean, I can't. I mean, first and foremost, I got to thank God, because I'm going to tell you, and people have their own, their own beliefs or whatever. But I definitely been through a lot to where I can say safely and comfortably, thank God that I'm here, and things have And all the people I've met, all the sponsors, TaylorMade, my wife, my family, friends. Thank you for, just staying with me, pushing me, even through the injuries, the doctors, all that. Thank you for my team. And we're going to let you go for today. And hopefully everyone stays safe from these storms today, okay? All right, do me one favor, like I always ask. Go out and make somebody smile, because you know why? It doesn't cost you a thing. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.